Hey, audacious beast, welcome back to my channel. My name is Scottyallenday. So today we're going to talk a little bit about something that's very touchy, a little bit of a sensitive matter of a sort. I mean, a lot of people really don't understand. So I'm going to try and, make it a little bit easier, because it's about the silent majority and why many people choose to keep quiet about politics. Yeah, I was looking at my phone. That was a title idea that I wanted to do. It was, and it's important. And it might make you understand a little bit more about why so many channels choose not to talk about politics or the issues. Why parents and grandparents and aunts and uncles, most of them will avoid the subject altogether. And I'll give you some of my insight through my life as to why I don't believe in talking too much about politics. And when politics start coming up, and why I try to get out of that conversation before, well, things get heated. So, in this scenario, I'm going to use someone named Sam and someone named Tony. Okay, so Sam and Tony are both my friends. Sam leans to the left, Tony leans to the right, or vice versa. I don't care. You can dream that up in your head, and we're gonna talk a little bit about this. So, let's say there's an issue about a bill that's going to be coming up in the upcoming election, and the bill is aimed at making homeless people perform community service hours, picking up trash at homeless camps, because their homeless camp was so trashed that it cost literally thousands of dollars to be able to clean it up. So that's pretty much the scenario. It's kind of hogwash, and I don't think any of that will even have happened, but it's good enough for me to be able to put my point across. So let's say Sam, Tony, and I, we are the three musketeers. We are the best of friends. We go out and we drink together. We shoot pool. We've had fishing contests. I mean, we've been friends since high school. And now we're, let's say, 30 years down the road. We're all approaching 50, and this issue comes up. And, well, Sam, he's all for the bill. He wants them to have more community service hours. And the bill also includes, well, counseling to try and get them off the streets. And Sam is all for it, and he said, yeah, they should be doing 8 to 16 hours of community service so they can be able to pay for all the damage that they've done to the landscape and the environmental impact, because they dug into the soil on the side of a hill, and the amount of times the fire department has come out to extinguish the flames because they're using a propane tank inside their tent. And, well, that's his whole issue. He rants and raves about this whole bill. Now, my friend Tony, on the other hand, absolutely hates the bill. Then why don't you leave those poor people alone? They have nothing to, they're perfectly fine tending to themselves, and if we gotta go clean up their trash, it's okay. Now, you see on both sides of the coin. On one hand, Tony says, yeah, let's clean up the camps. Let's give them the help they need so we can get them off the streets and make our city pretty again. And, well, so Tony, on the other hand, doesn't want us to mess with them. They're living their life. Let them live their life. So, I'm stuck right in the middle. I'm saying, well, if you don't give them the counseling and the help they need, they're not going to get any better. All it could take is just a little bit of humanity and they can start their lives over again. We don't know what boat they're in. On the other hand, just leave it alone. But yet, looking at me as a bus driver, I'm going to go Charlie bus today. Me as a driver, I'm seeing people deteriorate on the street. So, Sam and Tony are my two best friends. And every time that we get together, they start talking about this bill. And it really makes me kind of stuck in the middle. I don't know where to go from there. And they said, oh, hey, Scotty, what's your opinion on this? And I'll be flat out blunt, you know, said, yeah, they should help the homeless. But I think there's a better way. They said, and then Tony will say, oh yeah? Well, what's the better way? And just so I can end the conversation, we get back to playing our wonderful game of pool and finish up our nice big old brewskis that we have sit on the counter, I said, I haven't thought of the answer yet. But I don't think the answer's here yet. The answer's on the ballot. And the funny thing is my friends are so understanding. They say, okay, we go back to playing pool. Talk about fishing, making plans for the summer, and that's it. Now the question is if I went and sided with Sam saying, oh yeah, Tony is going to leave the group, and we'll probably never see or hear from him again. But if, on the other hand, if I sided with Tony, Sam, that's my best friend, that we go out mud bogging and in jacked up monster trucks, he disappears forever. And Sam is my fishing buddy. So on both sides of the coin, I'm going to lose something if I try and express what I'm talking about. Now, if you understand the scenario that I've just talked about, now you can see why most YouTubers, most YouTube creators, most people on Instagram, most people on Twitter, and other forms of social media back away from it. Let me give you another example. Back when George Bush was in power, and he was in the presidency, we had 9/11, which had the planes that hit the World Trade Center, and he sent the troops to try and, you know, prevent the terrorism from happening again. And the musical group, the Dixie Chicks, basically blasted him for it. They called him all kinds of names and blah, blah, blah. Now, the Dixie Chicks, which is now called the Chicks because they are now woke, and they decided to drop Dixie, and now they call themselves the Chicks. But because of them getting involved in the political landscape, they lost, I would say, 75% of their entire fan base. They've never recouped it. They were literally one of country music's top performing bands. And all of a sudden, they went away. They lost. It was like their fans took stones and their spotlights were all shattered. Just simply because of politics. And that's why most people want to avoid politics, because I don't want to hurt Sam, and I don't want to hurt Tony. Let alone, I don't want to hurt Jeff, that's right smack in the middle, right along with me, because I've sided with the right or the left. And that's why it's very important to, in my opinion, just keep my political opinions to myself. I go and I have coffee with my mom on Sundays, and we talk about all kinds of things, and then all of a sudden politics start coming up. And she'll go, hard one way, and then all of a sudden I'm starting to try and talk about the other direction, and I say, whoa, let's kind of stop this now. I don't want to lose my mother over political BS. I've seen it tear apart thousands of families, and I'm not going to let it tear apart mine, or my friendship, or any of my fans that'll be on any social platforms. And it's just me. What I believe and what I think should be done is my business. I'd rather just have fun and have conversation and live life than worry about saying the wrong thing. So I'm just going to ask you guys, as my viewers, what do you think of this video? Do you think we should keep our political opinions to ourselves? Let me know in the comment section below. And if you're new here, hit that subscribe button and that notification bell so you don't miss another video. And until next time, let's just keep on rocking.